All right, so we're getting ready for a lyricist interview.
Yes.
And we're going to take a deep dive into these RoleCatcher guys. We've got career overviews. We've got interview questions. We even have stuff about how AI is changing the music business.
Yeah, it's super interesting.
So think of this as like a cheat sheet.
Absolutely.
Not only for answering questions, but for really understanding what it takes to be a successful lyricist.
Yeah, and what I really like about these resources is they kind of go beyond just the surface level, right? They don't just tell you what to say. They get into like why and the strategies behind like crafting good lyrics and building a career, all that.
So let's unpack this a little bit. First of all, what really is a lyricist? Beyond just writing words that rhyme.
Right. It's a lot deeper than that. The RoleCatcher Career Guide defines it as breathing life into the soul of a song.
Oh, I love that.
Which I thought was a nice way to put it. It's really about interpreting the feeling of the music, working with composers, crafting lyrics that capture like the essence of the song, translating emotion into words.
Oh, that's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
It's like you're weaving a story that fits perfectly with the melody and the rhythm.
Exactly.
All right, so let's jump into some of these interview questions.
Okay.
RoleCatcher provides a ton of examples, and we're going to kind of break down how to approach them. So let's start with this one. Can you tell us about your experience writing lyrics?
So that might seem pretty straightforward.
Right.
But it's your chance to really showcase what makes you unique. And remember, show, don't tell.
Ooh, I like that.
So instead of just listing off, past projects, think about specific stories or experiences that highlight your skills.
So, for example, if you wrote lyrics for a college band and they ended up getting some local radio play or something, you could talk about how you adapted your style to fit their sound.
Exactly.
And that experience taught you about collaboration.
And be prepared for follow-up questions, too. They might say, well, what were some challenges you faced in that project, and how did you overcome them?
Oh, good point.
And that's where you can demonstrate, like, problem-solving and resilience, which are really important.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Here's another one. This one, I think, is really about connecting with an audience. How do you ensure your lyrics are relatable to your target audience?
So this is about empathy.
Yes.
And research. It's not enough to know just what's trending. You really need to understand the emotions and experiences of the people you're trying to reach, like the challenges they face, their aspirations.
So, for example, if you were writing for a pop artist whose audience is mostly teenagers, your lyrics might focus on things like first love, fitting in, figuring out who you are, all that good stuff.
Yeah, and be prepared to talk about your research process, too. Do you immerse yourself in the music that your target audience is listening to?
That's a good one.
Do you read articles,
Right.
Get a feel for their world?
It's about going beyond just the surface.
Yeah.
Demonstrating a genuine understanding of your audience.
Exactly.
Okay, I like that. Let's try this one. I think a lot of creative people struggle with this one.
Yeah.
How do you balance the need for commercial success with artistic integrity?
Yeah, that is the classic dilemma for sure. RoleCatcher has some really good strategies for tackling this one. It's about acknowledging the realities of the music industry while still staying true to your artistic vision.
So you might say something like, you appreciate the craft of songwriting, the art of creating something meaningful, but you also understand that to reach a wider audience, it needs to have commercial appeal.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You could even talk about specific artists who you admire who've managed to achieve both.
Okay, and that shows that you've given it some thought.
Yeah.
You're not just naive about how the industry works.
And this question could also lead into a discussion about ethical considerations in the music industry, especially with things like AI-generated music.
Very relevant.
Absolutely.
So speaking of AI, RoleCatcher's platform uses some really cool AI technology to help you tailor your answers, get feedback for specific job roles.
It's a game changer, honestly.
Yeah, it's like having this virtual coach in your corner.
Yeah, for example, you can type in your answer to a question like, tell me about a time you faced a creative challenge. And the AI will analyze it and give you suggestions on how to make it more impactful or more concise or even tailored to that specific company's values.
So it's not about memorizing answers. It's about understanding how to frame your experiences and skills in a way that resonates with whoever you're talking to.
And they have this video practice feature, which is really helpful for working on like your delivery and body language. It's like you can do a mock interview and get feedback.
That's so helpful, especially for people who get nervous about interviews.
Yeah, totally.
Okay, awesome. Let's get back to some of these other interview questions.
Sounds good.
Here's one that delves into your creative process. How do you approach writing lyrics for a new song? Do you start with the music or a concept or something else?
So I think this is a really great opportunity to showcase your versatility as a lyricist.
Right.
There's no right or wrong answer. Some lyricists are inspired by the melody first.
Yes.
Others might start with a story, a feeling, maybe even a single phrase that sparks an idea.
So you could talk about how you've experimented with different approaches. Maybe you've written some lyrics with a specific theme in mind.
Yeah.
Other times you let the music guide you.
Exactly.
The key is to be authentic and show that you've got this flexible creative process.
Right, for sure.
That allows you to adapt to different situations. Now, I'm sure every lyricist has experienced writer's block at some point.
Sure.
How would you answer a question about dealing with those creative roadblocks?
It's a really common challenge, and interviewers will ask about that to kind of gauge like your resilience, problem-solving skills.
You would want to say, like, I just wait for inspiration to strike.
Right. Yeah, not ideal.
Right.
It's more about demonstrating that you have strategies for overcoming those hurdles. Maybe you take a break from the project. Maybe you listen to different music. Maybe you read poetry or go for a walk in nature. To clear your head and kind of find that inspiration again.
And it's interesting that the RoleCatcher Career Guide mentions how important fine arts knowledge is for this role. It's not just about rhyming words. It's about
the storytelling.
Storytelling, metaphor, imagery, all those elements that make lyrics so powerful.
It's an art form.
Yeah. So you wouldn't just say, I take a walk.
Right.
You'd connect it back to how that experience helps you replenish your creative well and come back to the project with fresh eyes.
Absolutely.
All right. I like that. Let's tackle another one. Can you walk us through the process of revising and refining your lyrics?
So this one's about demonstrating your attention to detail and your willingness to collaborate and improve.
So you wouldn't just say, like, oh, just make sure the rhymes are perfect.
Right, yeah. More about showing that you have a structured process for reviewing your work and getting feedback.
Yes.
And making revisions based on constructive criticism.
So you could talk about how you analyze the flow of the lyrics. The clarity of the message, the emotional impact, all those things.
And this is where RoleCatcher's AI feedback tool can be really helpful. You can put your lyrics in, and the AI will analyze them and give you suggestions for improvement.
That's amazing. It's like having this virtual editor who can polish your work.
Totally.
Make it shine. All right, let's move on to a question about staying relevant. How do you stay up to date with current trends and styles in lyric writing?
Yeah, this one's about demonstrating your passion for the craft and, you know, your commitment to continuous learning. You don't want to just say, oh, I listen to the radio. You want to talk about how you actively seek out new music. Maybe you follow industry blogs or podcasts, go to concerts, or you take songwriting workshops.
And don't be afraid to mention specific artists or songwriters who inspire you.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, that shows that you're really engaged with the current landscape of music and always looking for ways to evolve your craft.
It's about being a student of the game.
Yes, I love that.
Yeah.
All right, here's a question that might require a little vulnerability. Can you tell us about a time you had to write lyrics for a challenging or sensitive topic?
This is a chance to really showcase your emotional intelligence, you know, and your ability to handle difficult subject matter with grace and sensitivity. Pick an example that shows your empathy and your research skills and how you craft lyrics that convey a powerful message.
So if you were asked to write a song about dealing with loss or overcoming adversity, you could talk about how you approach that with respect.
Exactly.
How you research the issue to make sure your lyrics are authentic and impactful.
And be prepared to talk about the challenges you faced and the lessons you learned. It shows you're not afraid to tackle tough topics.
All right. Let's shift gears a little bit and explore a question about collaborating with artists. Can you describe your process for getting into the mindset of the artist you're writing lyrics for?
Yeah, so this is all about demonstrating your ability to step outside yourself and truly understand their perspective.
You wouldn't just say, I listen to their music.
Right. Yeah. You want to show that you take a deep dive.
Yes.
You read interviews, watch performances, research their influences, even analyze their social media.
So you're like this musical detective.
Exactly.
Uncovering clues to reveal their unique voice.
Exactly.
And style.
And once you feel like you have a good understanding, you can start to craft lyrics that authentically reflect their voice.
Channel their essence through your words.
Yeah. And this is another area where RoleCatcher's AI tools can be helpful.
Okay.
They have a feature that can actually analyze an artist's lyrics and identify like common themes.
Oh, wow.
And even their preferred vocabulary.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
It's like a cheat sheet to their creative DNA.
Totally.
All right, let's explore this one.
Yeah.
How do you approach writing lyrics for a concept album?
Yeah, so this is your chance to showcase your understanding of storytelling on a bigger scale.
Right, because a concept album isn't just a collection of songs.
Exactly.
It's a cohesive, a whole narrative that unfolds over the entire record.
You can even talk about specific examples of concept albums that you like.
Oh, yeah, good idea.
Or that you think are well done.
Yeah, to show that you really understand the intricacies of this unique songwriting challenge.
Yeah.
Okay, let's wrap up this section with a question about the business side of things.
Okay.
Which, as we mentioned, is a key part of being a successful lyricist. How do you balance the need for commercial success with artistic integrity in your lyric writing?
So this is another one that...
Right. There's no easy answer.
Doesn't have a simple answer.
It's about acknowledging the realities of the industry.
Yeah.
While staying true to your creative vision.
Yeah. You could talk about how you respect the craft. The art of creating something meaningful. But you also understand that to reach a wider audience, it needs to have that commercial appeal.
It's about finding that sweet spot where your artistic vision aligns with the niche.
Totally. It's also about being aware of ethical considerations, too.
Oh, yeah.
Like avoiding plagiarism, respecting copyright, being transparent about your collaborations.
It's about building a career that you can be proud of.
Yeah, for sure.
One that's both creatively fulfilling and commercially successful.
And that's where RoleCatcher's resources can be so valuable.
Okay.
They provide guidance on everything from contracts to intellectual property rights.
Like having a legal team and a business advisor all in one.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, now before we move on, I want to emphasize one thing that keeps coming up in these questions. It's not just about what you say.
Right.
It's about how you say it.
Your delivery, your confidence.
Your enthusiasm, all those things really matter in an interview.
And that's where that AI-powered video practice feature is in.
Because it lets you record yourself and then analyze your delivery.
Exactly.
Preparation is key, right?
Totally.
So the more you practice, the more confident you'll feel.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And the better you'll be able to showcase your talent and your passion.
Yeah.
All right, let's take a quick pause here. When we come back, we'll delve into the world of a lyricist.
Even further.
Exploring those different career paths.
Awesome.
And the skills you need to thrive.
Sounds good. Welcome back. So we've gone over some of those key interview questions.
Yes.
But now I think it's time to kind of zoom out a little bit.
Okay.
And look at the bigger picture. What does a lyricist's career path actually look like?
That's a great question. I'm really curious about how that works.
So the RoleCatcher Career Guide outlines a pretty clear trajectory. It kind of starts with entry level and moves up to junior, then mid-level, and finally you reach that peak as a senior lyricist.
So it's kind of like climbing a ladder, gaining experience as you go.
Exactly. At the entry level, you're really just getting your feet wet.
Okay.
You might be assisting more established lyricists, doing research, attending recording sessions to observe, really absorbing the process.
So it's a lot of learning by doing, soaking it all up from the pros.
Right. Then, as a junior lyricist, you start to take on more creative ownership.
Okay.
So you're interpreting different music styles, working directly with composers, getting feedback from producers, that kind of thing.
So you're honing your craft, finding your voice, navigating that collaborative space.
Right. Then comes that mid-level stage where you're not just writing lyrics, you're really shaping the emotional landscape of a song. You're thinking about how to evoke specific feelings in the listener, how to make the lyrics really resonate. You might even be involved in selecting vocalists and coaching them on delivery.
So your influence expands beyond just the words.
Absolutely. And finally, we have the senior lyricist.
Okay.
This is where you become a leader,
Right.
guiding the overall vision, mentoring junior lyricists, and even handling business stuff like contracts and licensing agreements.
It sounds like the ultimate blend of artistry.
Yeah, for sure.
And business savvy.
Totally.
So speaking of skills, what kind of talents does a lyricist actually need to thrive in this world? What does RoleCatcher say about that?
Yeah, they emphasize a combination of creative and technical abilities.
Okay.
Obviously, a strong command of language is crucial,
Right.
as is a deep understanding of poetry, storytelling, how to create imagery with words.
That makes sense.
Right.
But it's not just about beautiful language, right?
Right.
You need to understand how music works.
You have to, yeah. A good lyricist can interpret different music styles.
Okay.
Recognize a catchy melody, craft words that fit seamlessly with the rhythm and flow.
Like a wordsmith and a musician.
Yeah, exactly. And don't underestimate soft skills either.
Oh, right.
Like collaboration and communication.
Yeah, because you're working with composers, musicians, producers.
Exactly. It's a team effort.
It's a team effort. So being able to give and receive feedback, build strong relationships.
Yeah, for sure.
That's all crucial.
Totally. And remember, the industry is always evolving, so RoleCatcher recommends staying ahead of the curve by following blogs, attending conferences, participating in workshops, all that.
So always be learning, keep your ears open, be inspired.
Absolutely.
Okay, I like that. So let's circle back to those AI-powered tools that we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
I know they can help with interview prep.
Right.
But what about actually developing your skills as a lyricist? Can RoleCatcher's AI help with that?
They can, actually.
Oh, wow. Okay.
They have this library of skill guides and exercises specifically for lyricists.
Oh.
You can input your work into the platform, and the AI will analyze it and provide feedback.
On things like?
Yeah, things like rhyme schemes, metaphor usage, the clarity of the message, the overall emotional impact, all of that.
So it's like having this virtual songwriting mentor.
Right, exactly. And the AI can even recommend like online courses or resources tailored to your needs.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, to help you develop the skills that are in demand right now.
So let's say you're looking for a job as a lyricist. How does RoleCatcher's AI actually work when it comes to analyzing those job descriptions?
Okay.
So making sure your application really stands out.
They use something called natural language processing.
Okay.
Which basically means their AI can read and understand human language.
So it's not just looking for keywords, it's actually understanding the meaning.
Exactly. So when you upload a job description, the AI can scan it, identify the key skills and qualifications that the employer is looking for, and then compare that to your resume and cover letter.
So it's like having a digital recruiter.
Yeah, totally.
Who knows exactly what they want and can tell you what to tweak in your application.
Exactly.
To make it better.
It takes the guesswork out of it.
Yeah, that sounds super efficient.
Yeah, totally.
And what about the AI feedback on your interview answers?
Yeah.
We talked about that earlier. How detailed and personalized is that?
It's very detailed. It doesn't just offer generic advice. It analyzes the content of your answers.
Okay.
The structure, even your word choice.
Wow.
And provides specific suggestions.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
So it's like having a writing coach and a communication expert all rolled into one.
Exactly. And it's all accessible instantly.
That's so cool. So RoleCatcher also has a feature where employers can find potential candidates.
Yeah.
Can you tell me more about how that works?
That's called reverse matching. It's a great way to get on the radar of companies, even if you haven't applied directly. Basically, employers can search for candidates based on specific skills, experience, even music genre preferences.
So it's like a digital talent scout.
Exactly.
Who can connect you with opportunities you might not have even known about.
And to make sure you pop up in those searches, it's crucial to have a complete RoleCatcher profile. You know, highlight your relevant skills, include links to your portfolio, even upload samples of your work.
So it's not just about creating a profile and forgetting about it.
Right.
You need to keep it
keep it fresh.
Updated.
Absolutely.
Okay, so let's talk about some of the challenges that aspiring lyricists might face.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, the music industry is really competitive.
It is.
How does RoleCatcher help people deal with rejection and setbacks, which were inevitable
Totally.
in any creative field.
They really stress the importance of building a strong network. So attending events, connecting with other songwriters, seeking out mentors.
Those relationships are so important.
They are, yeah.
You know, to have people who understand what you're
They
doing.
don't underestimate self-care.
Ooh, that's a good one.
You know, taking breaks, nurturing your creativity, maintaining a healthy work-life balance.
Yeah, because it's easy to get burned out in this industry.
Especially in a creative field.
Yeah.
It's so easy to get caught up in the hustle.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, so another challenge?
Yeah.
Balancing your creative vision with the need for
voice.
Right.
But also create music that people want to hear.
Yeah, how do you find that sweet spot?
It's a constant balancing act.
Right.
RoleCatcher suggests studying successful songwriters, analyzing the lyrics of hit songs, understanding what makes a song catchy and memorable.
So it's about learning from the best, but also trusting your instincts.
Yeah, totally.
And finding your own unique style.
Absolutely. And the industry is always hungry for fresh voices.
Right.
So don't be afraid to experiment,
Okay.
push boundaries, create something new.
I like that.
Yeah.
Now, RoleCatcher also talks about financial literacy. Why is that so important for musicians, especially for aspiring lyricists who might not be making a lot of money yet?
Yeah, the music industry can be unpredictable when it comes to income. So lyricists really need to understand how to manage their finances, negotiate contracts, protect their work.
So it's about treating your songwriting like a business.
Yeah, for sure.
Even if it's your passion.
Absolutely.
Okay, so what are some of the key things that aspiring lyricists should know about all this?
So they recommend getting advice from, music lawyers or entertainment attorneys who can really help you understand the legal side of the industry.
To protect your rights, make sure you're getting paid.
Absolutely. They emphasize registering your copyrights.
Right.
Understanding royalties, negotiating contracts.
It's about being proactive, not just
exactly.
hoping for the best.
The more you understand, the better off you'll be.
Yeah, knowledge is power.
Absolutely.
Okay, so let's dive a little deeper into the craft of lyric writing.
Yeah.
What are some of the key elements that make a lyric truly great?
Storytelling, imagery, emotional resonance.
Cool.
Those are the big ones.
So it should paint a picture in the listener's mind. Make them feel something.
Absolutely.
Leave a lasting impact.
And don't underestimate rhyme and rhythm.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Those elements can add musicality and memorability.
It's about finding that flow that makes the words sing.
Exactly.
Now, I know there are different approaches to lyric writing.
Yeah.
Some people start with the music. Others start with a concept or a story.
Right.
What's the best way to find your own creative process?
They encourage experimentation. Right. Try different things, see what feels natural. Don't be afraid to break the rules as long as it leads to something unique and compelling.
So trust your instincts.
Absolutely.
Find what works for you. Now, collaboration is obviously a big part.
Yeah, it's
songwriting.
For sure.
How can aspiring lyricists find collaborators who are a good fit for their style and vision?
Attending songwriting workshops is a great way to meet people. There are tons of online communities, networking at events.
Yeah, getting out there.
Yeah, and RoleCatcher actually has a feature.
Oh, cool.
That allows you to connect with other lyricists and composers.
Based on your genre.
Yeah, based on your genre and your goals.
So it's like a dating site for musicians.
Kind of, yeah.
Love that.
And when you do find people, it's important to communicate, be respectful, and willing to compromise.
It's a partnership.
It is.
So RoleCatcher also has resources for lyricists who want to focus on specific genres.
Yeah, they have genre-specific guides that delve into the history, the conventions, the lyrical techniques.
So whether you want to write a pop anthem or a country ballad, they can help you understand how to do it.
They recommend immersing yourself in the music, studying the lyrics of successful songwriters in that genre, attending concerts and festivals.
So really become a student of that genre.
Yeah, totally.
Okay, now writing lyrics for a specific artist can be a challenge.
It can be, yeah.
What advice does RoleCatcher offer for capturing the essence of that artist's voice and style?
They suggest studying the artist's music, reading interviews, watching performances. Really get a sense of their personality and their vision.
So it's like being a musical detective again.
Yeah, for sure.
Uncovering the clues
Yeah.
that reveal their unique perspective and then channeling that through your words.
It's important to be respectful of their creative input and to collaborate.
Yeah, it's a partnership.
For sure.
All right, so back to the business side of things.
Okay.
RoleCatcher gives a lot of guidance on negotiating contracts, protecting your intellectual property.
Right.
What are some key things that aspiring lyricists should know?
They really recommend seeking advice from, experienced music lawyers, entertainment attorneys, who can help you understand the ins and outs of the industry.
You're protected.
Yeah, exactly.
You're getting compensated fairly.
They emphasize registering copyrights, understanding royalties, negotiating contracts.
So it's about being savvy and protecting your interests.
Absolutely, yeah.
All right, let's touch on one more avenue.
Okay.
For lyricists. Writing for film and television.
Okay, yeah.
What advice do they have for people interested in that?
They recommend studying successful film and TV composers, analyzing scores, really understanding how music enhances storytelling.
Because it's different. Than just writing a song.
Right.
It has to fit the visuals.
Exactly. It has to complement the visual.
Enhance the mood.
Yeah. And they also suggest networking with producers, attending industry events, soliciting your work to music supervisors.
It's about getting your music heard by the right people.
Absolutely.
So as we're wrapping up this section, what are some of the key takeaways from RoleCatcher?
Yeah, so they emphasize passion, persistence, and continuous learning.
Love what you do, never give up. Always be improving.
Exactly.
Okay.
They also encourage being authentic, finding your unique voice, telling your story.
It's about creating music that comes from the heart.
Yeah, for sure.
And speaks to the soul.
Absolutely.
Now, before we move on, I want to reiterate the value of RoleCatcher's AI tools. They can help you tailor your applications, refine your skills, connect with people, protect your work, navigate the industry.
It's like having that personalized coach.
Yes.
And a digital toolkit all in one.
Okay, awesome. Let's take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll talk about some of the ethical considerations and future trends that are shaping the world of lyric writing. All right, so we're back for the final part of our Lyricist deep dive. We've talked about writing lyrics, answering those tough interview questions, understanding the career path. But there's one more layer I think we need to explore, and that's the ethical side of songwriting.
It's really interesting how technology is kind of blurring the lines these days.
Right.
The RoleCatcher Guide talks about AI being used not just for job hunting, but also for actually creating lyrics.
Yeah.
So it raises this question of what happens to the concept of authorship when AI gets involved?
Yeah, it's like, imagine a computer program churning out a #1 hit.
Right.
Who really owns that?
Right.
The programmer.
Yeah.
The user.
Yeah.
The AI itself.
Yeah.
It's a wild idea.
It's a big debate. Right.
And there are no easy answers, that's for sure.
And even beyond AI, there are other ethical dilemmas, right?
Totally.
Plagiarism, ghostwriting, the pressure to write lyrics that maybe you don't agree with.
Yeah, that whole balancing commercial success with artistic integrity thing.
Yeah, it gets even trickier when you factor in all of that.
Absolutely. And it's not just about avoiding legal trouble.
Right.
It's about building a career you're proud of, one that aligns with your values.
Yeah, and I think that's an important point for our listeners to consider.
For sure.
As you're preparing for this interview, what can you take away from this conversation about ethics?
Awareness, I think, is key.
Okay.
Being able to articulate your stance on these issues shows maturity and thoughtfulness.
Right. It shows that you're not just in it for the fame and fortune.
Exactly.
You care about the impact of your work.
Yeah, and don't be afraid to ask questions in the interview, too.
Oh, good point.
Find out about the company's values, how they handle songwriting credits, their stance on AI, all that. It shows you're engaged, you're thinking about the big picture.
Yeah, exactly.
And RoleCatcher's resources are there to support you, even after the interview.
Absolutely.
They have articles on copyright, all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, so they've got your back.
Okay, so let's wrap up this deep dive with one final thought.
Okay.
The guide mentions lyricists working in fields beyond music.
Right.
Like advertising, video games, even educational content.
That's true.
Which I think really highlights the power of words.
Yeah.
To connect with people in so many different ways.
Absolutely. It's a good reminder that those skills you're developing are valuable in all kinds of fields.
Be open to possibilities. Think outside the box. Use your words to make a difference.
Exactly.
So we hope this deep dive has given you the knowledge, the prep tools, and the inspiration to go out there and rock that interview. Good luck and happy writing.
Absolutely.